What's up, guys? It's Bones88 here again with another episode of Race and Review. Today we're going to be talking about Elves. Elves are a great team, but they're not so great until you get the lane. And you don't usually unlock the lane till later on in the game. And so, as it stands without the lane, they're kind of They're kind of a C plus team. When down the road, when you get the lane, they almost take them to an elite level. With the Thelane lead, they take them all the way to the meta. I've been defeated by a Thelane team many times with me using buff against Thelane, and I've been beaten by Thelane. So they're just right there at being meta and maybe being the best race in all of the game. With Thelane. Without Thelane, a C plus team. But with that being said, let's get into the review, and I'll delve farther into this race for you guys. So let's do it. Alright, the Elves. There's a lot to say about this team, actually. There's a lot of variations, there's a lot of things you can do with this team. They're a very versatile team. They're a very offensive team. As a whole, they don't have a lot of health, but as a whole, they can put out a lot of damage together. For leads, you have Nightiel and you have Thelane. Thelane is the OG. She, like I just said on the intro, she can turn this team into an amazing team. And she does crazy stuff with her leadership, and it increases the crit chance of all allied elves by 30%. It recovers 15% of their turn meter upon landing a critical hit, and has a 50% chance to restore one turn to a random ally. So that's crazy. It's doing all kinds of stuff. It's it's not resetting completely, but it's taking down your abilities so you can use them faster. It's giving you turn meter on top of that, so you're using them even faster. If you're using her, you kind of want to use you want to mod or rune all your elves for critical chance, because when you're hitting crits, she's going crazy. She might be one of the best, if not the best, leader in the game. Unfortunately, she's not I wouldn't say she's the best, because it's strictly for elves. The ones that I consider the best are the ones that are kind of more broad leaderships that kind of cover more characters. But I can't go on enough about her. And as you see, I'm going on about her. I don't even have her unlocked. I've never used her personally, but just seeing what she's done against me and what other people have done with her and what other people have said, she is just phenomenal. And she flew, underneath my radar for the longest time. Anyone will back her as one of the best characters in the game, and she's crazy. But up here, the Nightiel lead, it's about a C plus if you use her as a leader, and you don't want to use her as a leader because she's essential in a Soleus team. So like when Battlegrounds come around, if you use this, well, your Soleus team is going to lack and probably lose too, because Nightiel's not there with Soleus. They make a crazy duo. They're one of the best duos in the game that have synergies with each other. So you really don't want to break Nightiel from the Soleus-led team. So really, you just want the lane. But it's not going to happen. Like, you got to wait till down the road. So when this comes around and you're farming these guys, the lane's not going to be available to you. She's a legendary. The lane is unlocked with an all-goblin team. The goblin event unlocks the lane, but I just don't suggest you do that event until later on in the game. I feel like other things are a little more priority than getting Thelane, even though she's so OG. Now, I've said this in the past, it's up to you. You're more than welcome to go for whoever you want. When I make these guides, I try to make them as efficient as a roster as a whole, so that you don't lack in battlegrounds or in other things, that you use your resources wisely and don't regret anything. That's how the way I approach these guides. So you just won't be able to get Thelane until later on. With that being said, for the event that unlocks Ember, she is a panda, and the all-elf event unlocks the panda Ember. She is awesome. She's fun. I love using her when I can. Unfortunately, the pandas kind of lack, and we'll cover that later on in another video. So, as if you're approaching the event, and that's how you should farm these characters, because I only put enough into them to beat in 7-star Ember, the Ember event. So with that being said, the easiest team to compose is Nightiel, lead, Illyria, Sharp, Kellerian, and Singiel. That's the base characters that you can, the most easy team that you can achieve to beat this event. But let me tell you, personally, I could not beat this event with Singiel. He is, in my mind, one of the worst, if not the worst, character in the game. I will post my worst characters video in the top or at the end of this, and check it out, because he is. It's been a long time since I made it, but he might be number one. I don't think he was, but he was up there. I cannot stand this character. If you want to put the least into it, farm Singiel the least you can and try to beat it. But I was not able to beat this with Singiel. You can. People have done it, but I was not able to myself. So with that being said, I farmed Phalia. It's a long farm. You're taking it out of the tournament store, and I don't suggest farming Phalia first. You can farm Wonder Lula. Wonder Lula and Phalia are only farmable in the tournament store. Wonder Lula is also farmable in the star store, or whatever you call it, where your extra, after you 7-star somebody, all that currency goes into that store. That store you can get Wonder Lula here and there too. I suggest you go Wonder Lula whenever you're sitting there wondering, who should I farm first in these stores, in the tournament and stores like that. I would suggest Wonder Lula first, if you're approaching it this way. If you're approaching it a whole different way, then you might want to farm somebody else. Because all those characters in there are great, great characters that will help whatever faction they belong to. If you farm that character for that faction, they're going to help you tremendously. Anyways, I suggest Wonder Lula first and Boreas second. Boreas you will use in the buff event, which I will cover later on in another race video. So, start farming Wonder Lula ASAP. That should be the first character you farm in the tournament and star store, because she is going to help you tremendously. She's a great, great, great character, really fun to play with. She has like a Kyra ability where she puts invisibility on everyone but one person, and it works almost just like Kyra's, and it's really fun, and she puts out some damage. She can put out some damage, and she will be essential to the Thelain team later down the road. So just start farming her right from the get-go. I'm telling you, I can't go on enough about Wonder Lula. And she is going to replace Singiel, and you will go right through that event with ease. And I'm telling you, you do not want to use Singiel. It will make you want to throw your phone through the window. So I went Phalia instead of Wonder Lula. I didn't have Wonder Lula for the event. And Phalia, you can't go wrong either, because I pretty much autoed the event. So you can go with either one of them, but Wonder Lula is the best bang for your buck. The best person you're going to use a lot down the road. Phalia I haven't used so much. Hopefully with Battlegrounds coming around, I'll be able to use her more. With all that said, try to get Nightiel lead, Wonder Lula, and then the third, you'll do Illyria. Illyria is not great. She's a mid-game character, and you will not use her afterwards. Battlegrounds, when that comes out, it might be a whole different story. Put as much as you need to help you beat the event. She's not horrible. She's okay. There's not a lot to say about her. She's a healer, and she'll just help you beat the event. You don't need to put a lot into her, though. Let's look and see what I put into her. I mean, so I had to 6 her out, and I didn't finish this or anything, and she's at gear 10. So you might have to put quite a bit into her, but do not take her to gear 11. She is not that good of a character to take to gear 11. Do not do that. Not much else to say about her. Next up, Sharp. He's a pretty good character. I use him a lot in tournaments, and he's required a lot in tournaments and other things like that. So you can't go wrong gear 11 him, I think. I think you would be able to put him in a Thelain team or something and do okay. He's not the greatest character. He's mid-range, but I think I'd be okay if I went gear 11 on him. I wouldn't regret it. I think he has a lot of critical chance type of kit. This move's pretty good. He gains a crit chance increase and applies it to all allies for 2 turns, and he gains a crit damage increase for 2 turns. So like I said, that the lane team is built around crit chance, crit damage, and all that. So he might, I don't know if personally, but he sounds like he would be essential to the lane team, or you couldn't hurt having him in there as gear 11. So I like him. You can't go wrong. So put all you can into him, and he's going to help you a lot in the event also. So you have Nightiel, Wonderlula, Illyria, and Sharp. That's so the fifth one I'm recommending is Kellerian. He's easy to get. I think he's one of the first characters you can start farming towards in the beginning of the game. So go ahead and just get that out of the way, farm him up. You'll find use for him, but honestly, I'm not a fan. I think he's on the lower side of characters in the game. I think he's kind of trash, but he'll do well enough to help you out in the event. With that saying, don't put a lot into him. I did use him for the event, and if you see here, I didn't level him to 80. I only went to gear 8. Look at his abilities, guys. I beat it with him, and I didn't even put most of these to 5. So I think you'll be fine. And I did all this without artifacts. You add some artifacts to these guys, and it's going to be a lot easier. So, summing all this up, the 5 you want to farm towards and work towards to beat the event to unlock Ember is Nightiel lead, Wonderlula, Illyria, Sharp, and Kellerian. Once again, guys, you can go about it however you want. That's the beautiful thing about this game. This is just how I would approach it to make it the most convenient and most bang for your buck type of way to do it. So I strongly suggest going this way. You won't be disappointed. And Count Delman, I didn't really go over him. I don't know much about him, but I know if you want the best elf team, I don't know, but I would say it would be Thelaine lead, Count Delman, Wonderlula, Phalia, and I would say Nightiel, but when I'm thinking Battlegrounds, I would just throw in Sharp because you saw that crit chance. So Thelaine, Count Delman, Wonderlula, Phalia, and Sharp. If you want the ultimate elf team, I think those 5 would be the ones to do it. With that being said, there's not too much more to say about this team. I've repeated this already. Overall, they're a C+ team until you add Thelaine later on in the game, and they're an A-. They are crazy good with Thelaine, and I can't stress that enough. So I definitely recommend farming these guys 4th. I'll put a link for my other videos also. But I've already went over demons, humans, and orcs, and I tell you kind of what order to farm each race. And this would be my 4th race I would farm. Orcs first, humans second, demons third, and then elves 4th. And you go that way, and I promise you won't be disappointed. Alright guys, so that's my racing review on elves. I hope this helps you guys out. That's all I like to do. I just want to make sure you guys get your bang for your buck and get everything out of the characters and resources you put into those characters. And I want you just to approach it the best way I see how. And I appreciate you guys coming by and checking my stuff out. Please hit subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. Please go check out XMG. Go to his Discord, go to his YouTube page, show him some love. He's done so much for me and helped me out, and we have a lot of stuff planned for the future for all you guys. So once again, I appreciate you guys' support and everything you guys have done in just the last month. I've only been doing this for about a month and a half, and everyone's been so great. So check XMG out. Thank you guys for the support, and I will see you guys later. Peace.